Hey guys, this is Christian Fioravanti, and I just wanted to do a quick review of the Customer Advantage Company. So the brand new business that launched not too long ago, and it's actually kind of building off the success of Groupon, which is absolutely huge. I'm sure many of you are very familiar with that. And for those of you who don't know me, actually, guys, let me just go ahead and tell you a little bit about myself first before we get rolling here. I've been in this industry now, the network marketing industry, and familiar with MLM now for over 3 years. And I've been online, actually marketing online for 3 years. So I have a lot of experience in both the network marketing industry and internet marketing. And I've seen several different companies that, have come and gone that I've been involved with, and I've studied comp plans for the longest time now, what companies offer. I've studied products, I've studied services, what makes companies tick, why are they successful, why are they not, are they good for the members, and are they not, and why. So I've really had extensive experience in a lot of this. I'm actually the founder of my own network marketing affiliate company, and I'm also the creator of the Social Media Domination series. I've authored and wrote several different books, co-authored several different things, created courses with many different very successful network marketers, and I'm actually partners and good friends with the #1 internet marketer in the world, Russell Brunson. So I've got a lot under my belt, and all right, guys. So let me go ahead and get into it. Let me stop rambling on here about how great I am and all that stuff. I'm not trying to get into that, but only impress upon you that I'm not some average scammer out there or whatever that you'd find online. So let's jump into it. So the customer advantage. So what some of the things that I look for when I'm reviewing a company, when I'm looking into it to find out is it good, is it not, what's good and what's not, is I first start doing some research on even Google. That's a great place to start. So you go to Google, type in the customer advantage, type in customer advantage reviews, customer advantage scam, find out what kind of social proof there is out there. Find out what are other people saying. Are you finding, tons of people who are all saying this is great, this is awesome? Are you finding tons of people who are saying this is a scam, this is, we've never gotten paid yet, we brought people into the business, and we've been trying to get the discounts, and they haven't been working. You find out what's the good and the bad, who says what. And if you're finding, that there's a sort of an even mix of people saying it's great, people saying it's not, then, depending on how much that weighs in, it might not be the best thing. If you find 20, 30, 40% of people are saying, hey, this isn't very good, then more than likely it's not the best thing out there. But if I've actually done the research, I've looked in the search engines, I've found out, what are the results, and so far from what I can see out of, the 64 million results on Google for the customer advantages, there's not much bad about it. There really is not many people coming out saying, hey, this is a bad company, it's a bad product, they're not paying affiliates and all that stuff. And, so from what I can see, hey, you know what, if somebody had a problem with it, they would have come out and said something, and they would definitely, be a lot more in the mix there, but there's not. So that's a really good sign. The next thing I do is I find out who is the owner, who is the founder, and in this case, I am really glad to see that the Customer Advantage really puts out their owner, John Milanowski, says, and says, hey, here's our founder, here's what he's all about, here's what his message and story is. That's a very good sign because he's not hiding behind a computer, he's not hiding behind his company as some, background guy who's just, running everything in some boiler room operation. So that's really good to see. So let's go ahead and let me get into that a little bit. So with the owner, I always search and find out, what is his background, what has he done in the past, what's he been involved with, who is he, what kind of experience does he have? And I just started, doing my research there, and it turns out that from what I can see, there's lots of people who have done reviews on him. If you search John Milanowski in Google, you find his marketingmillionaire.com website where he kind of talks about some of the things that he's into and how to, build a better mindset for your business and all that stuff. And so from what I can see and from what I've, done my research on him, himself, personally, I haven't been able to find any dirt on him at all, which is good. So that's a really good sign. Normally, you find dirt on everybody, even if they're very good people. So, that's good to see that I haven't found, really anything on him or nothing worth really, paying attention to. So other than that, I'm really liking what I see there. So as a founder, good guy from what I can see. Company from what I can see in terms of social proof, looks good. Personal opinion is different, however. I think that, let me tell you one thing. For example, with the Customer Advantage building off of the success of Groupon was a genius move by John, the owner. That was just it was brilliant. I mean, you can leverage off of the success of a big company like Apple or Microsoft or anything like that to come out with your own launch with a company that kind of goes hand in hand with it. You really got something going for you. So I have a feeling that the customer advantage is one of those opportunities that can really go viral and become very, very large. And if you can kind of pick up on that wave, you're good to go. By the way, guys, one thing I did forget to mention is I'm not a member of Customer Advantage, right? So I'm not involved with it. This is a third-party review of the company. So don't think I'm some guy who's trying to pitch you on the Customer Advantage opportunity or the products or any of that stuff. Okay, so the fact that it's leveraging off the success of Groupon is awesome. I think that's a great thing on their part for them in terms of building the company, making it go viral and get out there, and bringing on a lot of good people to promote it. In terms of promoting the opportunity, being able to make money with it, as you can see here, it's that they pay out 5% on all purchases from your personal referrals. And then they have, I think it goes down 5 levels. Let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so 5 levels. It goes down 5 levels, pays 5% all the way down. So if you bring in a person on your first level, that person brings in someone, that person brings in someone, that person brings in someone, you're going to earn 5% on all those people on each tier or each level, whatever you want to call it. So it's considering that it's a program where you're saving money on things that you need and you do day to day, whether it be restaurants or grocery stores or businesses, whatever it is you're saving 50% or more on those businesses on what you're paying for, and they're still able to pay out 5%. I think that's pretty good. However, if you are trying to get into this as a business owner, as someone who wants, or business builder, I should say, as somebody who wants to make a full-time income with the Customer Advantage, 5% isn't going to do a whole lot for you. I mean, you're really, really going to have to be somebody who brings in a massive volume of people in order to make a really decent income. And if you want to make over $5,000 a month with this, you're really going to need to work your butt off, basically, to get it out there. Now, the cool thing about this opportunity, though, is, like I said, how I said that it could go viral and it could really get out there and do some crazy cool stuff. Well, I believe that. And I think that because it's not like your average network marketing or MLM business, it's one of those things that it's really a great resource to share with your friends. I mean, everybody wants it. Everybody could use it, even if they're not going to promote the opportunity. So, with that being said, I believe that anybody could do this. I really do. If you're looking for training in this opportunity, I'm not sure they give a whole lot of it, but it's one of those things where you can go out there and share with anybody and they could use it. And even if they're not going to go out there and build it, that's okay. You know what? That's a good thing for you. You can still go out there and share this opportunity. So bringing people in, I don't think is going to be a whole lot of an issue, but the volume of people you're going to need to be able to bring in and earn 5% of all of them, as long as they continue to purchase, of course, which hopefully they will be. That's going to take a long time to build up, especially if you're not somebody who's already a leader, who's already very successful in the network marketing industry. So, for me or people that I work with, it's very easy because we have massive lists. We have massive, we have great contacts, people who have, thousands, tens of thousands of people in their downlines and their current companies and all that stuff. So we can just say, hey, check this out and blast it out and get it, put thousands of people in our downline literally overnight. But not the average person can do that. So that's one thing I want you to make aware of. I think if this is something that you do on the side, like a side business where, hey, you earn a little commission on it, you can share it with your friends, share it with anybody on the streets, bring people in that way, and start making a little bit of money on it, but also use it for yourself. I think that's how this opportunity should be used, and that's where it's optimal. And if you use it for that, have high expectations where, to make lots of money with this business, you'll do very well. So that's how I would look at it, guys. I would not, like I said, I would not go into this business saying that this is the only thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to make all my money here, and I'm going to make, $5,000, $10,000 a month or more with this, because, you know what, like I said, you're really going to have to do quite a bit to get there. Okay, so let me just go show you guys something really fast too as well. So I mean, there's a fair amount of people already in this company. Like I said, I really believe it's going to be growing, more and more as we go along. One of the things I think you should take a look at is, all right, so if you think, hey, is this a scam? Is this business a scam? Do they pay? Do you really get discounts? Are they really a solid company and everything? And do they have, that what's needed in place in the back end so that when you join the company, you'll be able to get all your commissions okay, get some good maybe training to build your business, maybe use a good system, get a website, and get all this stuff. Do they have all that in place where it's set up perfectly, it's smooth, it's a nice working system? Well, let me just tell you this. If you go over to YouTube and you type in the Customer Advantage or the Customer Advantage, reviews or business or whatever, there is probably about, I'm looking at right now about 5,480 results, people who did videos for the Customer Advantage. So that's a pretty fair amount, especially considering it's a new company, and they're all saying pretty great things about it. So that's a good sign to see right there. And another thing you could do too, like I said, you can go over to different networking sites. You can go to places like Twitter, the Twitter search, different social networking sites, and search for the Customer Advantage. Find out what people are saying about it, what the ups and downs are. One last thing I would definitely recommend doing is if you're really looking to make money with this business, find out who's made money with this already. Have they already paid out commissions to their members? That's a really important thing. You'll find that many companies, when they first get started, they don't pay their reps for a certain period of time until they build up more, right? Which is fine, but you want to make sure when they do get to that point, are they going to pay everybody out okay? And is there going to be any issues there? So you want to find out who's already made money with the Customer Advantage. Give them a call, shoot them an email, take a look at whatever their results are, and see if you can find out did they get paid, how much was it, all that stuff. It's just to make sure you're covering your bases. Okay, that's good there, and move on and find out too how many people have saved. How many people are using the Customer Advantage? They're saving on businesses. What kind of businesses are there that they're actually being able to save on that they're providing? I mean, if they're only giving businesses that are like maybe just like some small minority of, Asian restaurants, a few cleaners here and there, just a few really maybe some oddball places that, maybe you don't go to on a day-to-day basis, and maybe they don't do grocery stores, they don't do, day-to-day restaurants that most people use or whatever, then, that's probably not going to be the best thing for you if you're promoting something that says, well, we've got, the cleaners and, we've got some other things here and there, but if it's something that really is, pops out that people use all the time, that they go to all the time, that they can save on, that's not going to be so appealing then anymore. So find out what are the businesses they offer, what are the things that they give discounts on, and, really take a look at those. Guys, overall, if I had to give this, a 1 out of 10, I would probably give this company an 8 from what I could see. And again, I'm not involved with the company. I haven't been able to go out there and start, promoting it or building it or doing any of that stuff and working with the, the products or working with the, the income opportunity. So I really couldn't fully say this is great or it's not. But from what I've seen overall, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I think that's one of those things where even if you don't have all the training that the company offers, which I think, hey, if they don't have training, that's not good. But even if that's the case, this is still a company that I believe is easy enough to promote, where anybody can do it and be able to earn a small amount of income, to kind of bring it on the side and still be able to save a massive amount. So I think it's definitely a valuable business. So guys, if you would like to find out more information about how to look into business opportunities, how to build business opportunities. I mean, if you have a home business or MLM company you're involved with, or a network marketing company, and you want to find out what are the new school people doing, what are the people online doing who they're able to bring in thousands of people into their business opportunity in a matter of months rather than a matter of years, and be able to make a really solid income doing this, promoting tools and other things where they can really build a massive business, a massive empire, and retire in a network marketing industry kind of a set. So if you'd like to find out more, if you're on my website right now, go ahead and go to some of my other pages. I have plenty of video training, audio training. I give away a lot of my blueprints and things for free just to share with people what I do and how I do it. And, I've been very successful in this industry. I own several businesses, actually, that I also run because of everything that I've learned, from internet marketing and from marketing in general overall, offline and online. So, guys, take a look at other things I have. I'd be more than glad to work with you. If you ever want to give me a call and just find out more about, this opportunity or about other businesses, about how to spy it and find a good business, how to market that business. If you want to just pick my brain and do any of that stuff, feel free to give me a call. I'd be more than glad to go over that stuff with you guys. All right, well, I hope this review was helpful for you. I hope you go out there and you have a prosperous week and you find something that works for you and be able to go out there and really do well with it. So, all righty, guys, you have a fantastic day. We'll see you later.